In this video, I'm going to speed run the intermediate bots on chess.com. These bots run from 1,000. We're going to start with Maria, and we're going to work all the way up to a 1,400. So I think there's about 9 bots here. One of my subscribers requested I do a speed run, but in order to do a speed run against humans, I need to get permission from chess.com. It's not just that simple. Oh, I'm going to try to do that as well. But for now, I'm going to do a speed run with the chess bots. Now, this is a good... I chose intermediate because this is where most players fall into, the 1,000 to 1,400 range. And I think we can learn a lot from these games. So it's pretty basic, pretty simple stuff here. My opponent's attacking me. I'm just going to move backwards. My opponent's 1,000. So they don't take the pawn. They probably could take the pawn there. I could attack, but again, they could take the pawn. So I'm going to protect my pawn first. Actually, this pawn's being attacked twice. So first, I'll just grab that pawn right there. Simple chess. Okay, he takes. All right, I'm just going to develop and attack the queen. The queen moves out of the way, and I castle. So you'll see development is a big issue with lower-rated players. So the queen keeps on moving. That's not good because that takes away from the development of the entirety of the Black's army. So this is not a good move right now either because it doesn't really help development. It's a wasted pawn move, and it just opens up the game more. Since I'm developed, the king's in the center. I'm just going to crush Black here. How do I go about it though? Let's see, I'll attack the queen first, and I'll start. It's also starting to open up the e-file. Okay, moves out of the way, and I'll just bring my knight more into the game. I'm going to put my rooks here, and however I finish the game, it doesn't really matter at this point. There's probably numerous ways I can finish this game. I'll just attack the knight for another time. I can pile up on this. I can't go here because he'll take my queen, or he'll trade queens. I don't want to trade queens. I could just pile up like that. That looks pretty good. So maybe I'll just pile up right here. I actually could have played the pile up with the queen here and also attack the knight again. But I have such a good position that I feel like it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, I'm just going to throw in a check. And... let's see. I guess I'll take the rook. I probably have a lot of good moves here. Okay, he takes back with the knight. She takes back with the knight. I'll just develop my last piece. And you can see that Black has no protection for their king, which is a big problem. You should definitely have protection for your king. But Black's also down a lot of material. So we have, if the king takes back, we almost have a discovered check. So it's something to keep an eye on, right? The rook is aimed at the king. That's something we always want to have an eye on. Therefore, I can probably freely move my bishop wherever I want because if they take, my next move is check, winning the queen. So why not just grab a pawn? He should get out of the way. If he takes back, again, I have this check, winning the queen. Okay, she correctly defends with the queen because now if I take, at least they get a rook. The problem is, I'll show you, after I get the queen, I'm attacking the knight and the rook. Again, Black's just totally defensive here. Black finds a nice resource here, but I don't think Black can hold that too quickly. Let's see, I probably have tactics. Rook takes, always look for forcing moves. King takes, and I can't really follow up with anything. If I throw this check in, that doesn't really do much that I know of. If I hit the rook can come here still. And if I hit the rook again... okay, so maybe just hitting the rook is the best move. So the rook's defending the knight, but now the rook couldn't stay. If the rook went here, I would just, deflect the rook one more time. So for that reason, this was a shallow defense. It looked like a good defense, but it didn't work. I'm just going to simply attack the bishop again because the bishop is pinned. I take. The king is going to go somewhere. I'm going to throw my knight. Now my knight comes into the game. My queen, my knight, my rook are going to mate, or just my queen and my knight. So I'll just pre-move the checkmate, and we'll go on to the next bot. So let's go to Maxim. I think there's actually 12 bots, not 9 bots. So Maxim, 1,000 rated player. I think Maxim's a very popular chess bot. So hopefully you guys get a lot out of these videos. Okay, this is how you actually play the French. So pinning the knight. And if I play a3 now, he takes and takes. So I got to play this first. And then now they can take. Usually they wait to take, but that's fine. Okay. So basically the whole concept, the point of this, I like to teach, why behind the opening, not just the opening, but the why. And why does black do this? Why does black get rid of the bishop pair? Well, they're double isolating my pawns. Not really double isolating. They're not isolated, but they're doubled. So it's like a give and take. So I get the bishop pair. They relinquish the bishop pair to me, but they double my pawns. But now here we have the knight coming out. Now the question is, do I double black's pawns and give up my bishop pair or not? That's the question. It's something you have to kind of assess yourself in chess. Chess is this is the hard part of chess. This is where I would say chess is hard when you assess stuff like this, because even I have to think about this, and I've been playing chess for a really long time. So takes, that looks definitely good for me. But what also looks good for me is keeping the bishop pair, putting the bishop here, and stopping the queen from castling. That looks like a legit move too. I'm not sure how long I can do that for. And if this knight gets into the game, this knight could be annoying. But first I will... No, if I develop, then I lose the chance to do that. Well, if I develop the bishop and he goes kingside, then taking here and busting up the king position would be very bad for him. Okay, so now I'm definitely going to take, because now since the king decided to castle kingside, now this is not just double pawns. These are double pawns in front of the king, so it's a busted fortress. So that's a big difference. And now I'm just going to throw... Oh, I can't throw my queen in there just yet, because he'll try to force trade. So I'm going to play that first. Now I'm going to throw my queen in here, and I'm just going to go for checkmate pretty much. I also have this rook coming in here. Okay, so I can't... Let's see, I can't... so he's threatening to take my queen. We have to see stuff like that. So again, if you don't look at your opponent's threat, it doesn't matter what rating you are, you're going to lose. So you have to do that first and foremost. You can't just sleep on a move and say, oh, it's just a pawn move, because here my opponent's threatening to take my queen. So I'm just going to move out of the way and take a pawn. Again, he's going to go for queen trades. Why is he going for queen trades? It's not about material. It's about king safety. So since their king is not as safe as mine, they want to get the queens off the board and, slowly attack down. He should have taken here. Now I'm just going to throw my rook in here. My rook's going to attack, go lateral and attack the queen. And now the queen is pinned to the king. So that's not good. Now I could take back, but he takes back with the knight. So if we see a good move, look for a better one. And I think the more patient, just taking the knight, and now black is still in this pin. It doesn't, help black that he's in the pin. He's still in the pin, so he can't get out. So I'm just going to attack. Again, I'm going to attack the queen. And again, I'll just keep on attacking the queen here. He can't get out of the pin, so I don't have to take it right away. And now this bishop move gave me flexibility, because now I can take the queen with the bishop instead of the rook, so I don't have to lose a rook. So again, just the small things matter in chess. Okay, I'm just going to double my queen and rook on this file. So now black can't challenge this file. That's the whole point. If he does, I'll checkmate him. And now I'll just develop my knight. So my knight's going to probably deliver the finishing blow somehow. I could castle or just move my king. It's the same concept. I'm going to get my rook here. But first, I want this pawn to move. If I want this pawn moved up to a6, or h6, I should say, and I want this rook here, but I don't know if I want to castle or move my king here or here, I might as well play the move that requires the least amount of flexibility. I want to be flexible. So I'm going to play this move first and see what he does. He does this. So that doesn't really change the position, really. Let's see. I want my knight to come here and maybe throw a sacrifice here. But I want this rook here first, so the attack comes at once. I don't want to be fumbling around if I'm going to sacrifice a piece. I want everything to kind of come at once. I could take with the knight. I'm just going to take with the pawn here. He should challenge the center. That's a bad move. He should have challenged the center. My king's in the center. He should try to speed things up. Not that he's going to win here, but at least he could hold defensively much better if he did that. So I'll bring my rook over here, and I'm just going to sacrifice the knight and try to open up the game for checkmate. Okay, now he's attacking here. That's good. But now I have almost... Let's see what I have here. I think I can push here because the king is so weak that if he takes, I have this. Yes, he has to take with the bishop to not lose a piece, but then I would have check winning the bishop. So he decides to just play that instead. Probably because he's 1,000. I don't know. But now he gives up a bigger piece, and now it's checkmate. All right, on to the next spot. We got Hans. So we're almost a third of the way through these chess spots. Hopefully you guys find these videos helpful or entertaining, or both. If you do, please make sure you subscribe. Really does help the channel, and hit that like button to help out the algorithm to push my videos out further so everybody can see these videos and we spread chess. All right, so I have a spatial advantage here. Nothing crazy yet. Game just started. That's a crazy move. That's a really horrible move, actually. So, I mean, don't just put your pieces in danger, and you should be fine. So, you should be able to get to 1,000 or past 1,000 in chess just by asking yourself basic questions and concentrating. Just asking yourself, is my piece attacked where I'm going? Or if your opponent moves, where is my opponent's attacking? What's my opponent's threat, basically? Just asking yourself those basic questions, and you should be at 1,000 or above 1,000 just by doing that. And looking for your own, of course, looking for your own opportunities, forcing moves, threatening moves, development, just the basics. Okay, so he's sacrificing the exchange for no reason. That's also not good. And now I'm going to try to open up the H file, which I just successfully did. Once the H file is open, this is pretty much GG. And for some reason, he's just letting me take all his pawns. So here I'm just going to castle and just put my queen here. And that should be, the game should be over pretty quickly, this one. All right, so I'll throw in this check. He's going to take. I'm going to cut the king off first. Notice how I don't chase the king around the board. I'm just going to cut him off first and trap him and then start checking. So check. He has to come back here. And then we're going to have almost a checkmate. Not quite. I can take the queen, so that's my insurance policy, right? If this doesn't work out, I can always take the queen. But I shouldn't have to take the queen here. We should have a checkmate. We should have a checkmate, but who knows? Let's see. This looks like it is checkmate. So I'm going to... Oh, actually, it's not checkmate. He has this move, but then I have this checkmate. Okay. So check, he has here, and then checkmate. No, it's not checkmate. He has back there. What am I thinking? Now it's checkmate? There we go. Now it's checkmate. All right, so now we're going to go to Aziz. Aziz is... Whoops. That was not the bot we wanted. Where are we going? Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, Aziz is 1,100, so a little bit stronger than 1,000. Not much, but a little bit. Again, if you're under 1,000, don't worry about it. It's an easy fix. It's basically just concentration and asking yourself the simple questions in chess. Even 1,100, you should probably just breeze through if you're concentrating and you're watching these videos and you have lessons or whatever you're doing. You should be able to eventually get past 1,100 just by asking yourself, simple questions in the position and concentrating. It's really not that difficult. Okay, he's going for a queen trade. I'm going to decline. I'm just going to develop my bishop. Okay, now he's going for... Okay, so you see the 1,100 has a little bit more skill. So he's pinning my knight. He's going to take, maybe wants to get rid of the queens, double my pawns, something like that. I'm going to, let's see, probably castle here. Or actually, do I have, no, this check does not win a piece. Trying to see if I have any tactics, which I don't. All right, so I'm just going to put my queen here. If he takes, I'll just take back. Okay. I'm going to stop him from castling by playing bishop a3. It's a very useful move. So just using the power of the long-range bishop to cut the king off. He's attacking this twice, and he's pinning my knight, so my knight's not really defending that. If I take with that, I probably win a piece. Takes. If I threaten the queen. So if I threaten the queen and then I castle, that's a way to play. Probably a little bit too complicated. I'm just gonna get my queen out of the pin. So just play simple chess here. He moves the queen back. I am putting pressure on the bishop, but the queen's defending. So I can cut this off. It doesn't work. Is there any way I can deflect the queen? The answer is no. So I'm going to first attack the bishop, see what he does. Okay, he moves the bishop back. And I'm going to put the rook opposite of the queen. This also is completing my development, or in the process of completing my development. So notice how I'm making a developmental move, putting the rook in the center, and it's a threatening move. Now I have a free move. So this bishop, wherever it moves, is attacking the queen because the rook's behind it. So it's a discovered attack. It's a free move. There's no reason not to just simply take the pawn here. So I'm just going to get a free pawn because he has to move the queen. He doesn't see that, so I take the queen. There you go. It's that simple. Okay, my bishop's under attack. So what do I do here? I move my bishop. I probably should have played that. I guess I'll just put pressure on. I'll start trying to trade down pieces. I could take here. I could just win the pawn. I'm just going to complete my development first, get my rook into the game. And here I'll just take. And that knight. Actually, when I said the knight should have came here, that's probably not true because I would have taken the knight. All right, so I'll put my rook on an open file. And now I can take here. And now I should have tactics. Oh, no. I thought I just got back mated for a second. That's why h3 is there. So my king has a space to go to. All right. I guess I'm just going to take pawns here. Make threats. So I have a clear advantage here. I'm throwing this check. And I might have a mating attack here. Let's see. Throwing the check. The rook actually should come back. But they don't. So if I take the knight has to take. Then I have check. King comes back here. Check, winning this rook. So always look for forcing moves. So let's just look at that again. Whenever I see only one piece is defending a piece, so that means there's a force right there. So if I take, he has to take back with the knight. So I'm temporarily down material. But then I have this check. The king has one square to go to here. Then I take the pawn with check and win this rook. So hopefully you guys were keeping up with that. Check. He comes here. I'm always looking for pieces that aren't defended. That's also helped me complete that tactic. So tactics are very important. But again, that was just like a 2-3 move, calculation. That wasn't really. Oh, I didn't see that. So even I didn't see that. But this, what happened there? Oh, he blocked. Okay, so I didn't see that. But again, still it worked out for me. I have a lead in development. I'm gonna win this game. It's just about how am I gonna do it here. I guess I'll get my queen ahead and I'll start pushing. All right, so I push. He's gonna try to intercept that. Well, I thought he was gonna do that, but I guess not. Okay, now he does. But that gets rid of the knight. So I'll get rid of one more piece. And now I have to just get rid of the rook. So when the king's open and there's undefended pieces, we probably have a way to get this piece. So how do we win it? We're not going to be able to win it right now, but maybe at some point. So I'm just going to start pushing my pawns, get a queen. Again, this should be an easy victory here. And we're just simply up a lot of material here. And I could just do this. This actually simplifies the position like so much, forcing him to take my queen. He can't catch up to me to get another queen. So I'm just going to have an entire queen on him and actually numerous queens if I want to. But I'll play nice here and I'll just get my king into the game and checkmate with the king and queen. So throwing this nice check. My opponent goes backwards. And I'm going to cut him off at some point. All right, so I'm just going to keep the king in that last file, that last rank. I don't want to stalemate my opponent, so I'm just going to drop my queen back over here so he has squares to go to. But now, wherever he goes, he's going to get checkmated. All right, let's go to the next spot. We have Laura. Laura is 1100. Okay, so e4, e5. This should be pretty familiar with everybody. This is the Italian game. Everybody plays this. 4 knights defense, whatever you want to call it. It's all in the same family. Usually we get that. Okay, bringing the queen here. I can attack the queen right away, so that move doesn't really make too much sense. You don't want to put your pieces in places where they can be knocked around. Okay, this doesn't make sense at all. This forfeits the right to castle, and you should be developing your pieces here. Again, I was able to advance because of the queen's position, so I was able to advance a piece with tempo. And now I'm just going to develop my queen. Okay, all we want to do in the beginning stages of chess is develop all our pieces, castle, and then we'll start improving our other pieces that are already in the game. So here I'm going to just castle, keep it simple. I'm going to take actually with this pawn to open up the rook. And this is gives me a good center. I talk about this a lot. So the knight really can't jump in here at all. My rook is aimed at f7. My bishop's aimed at f7. You have to start seeing stuff like this because this is very important in chess. I can't do any discoveries right away. But and if I move my knight anywhere, it gets taken. So I'm going to just play in the center first. If he takes, I'll take back with the knight. Okay, what do we have now? Do we have any type of threats here now? All right, I'll finish developing my rook. All right. And maybe I'll start playing with the possibility of doubling my rooks here. So I'll do that, actually. I'll double my rooks. Okay, this has to be a mistake. I have way too much. I'm fully developed. Black's not fully developed. The king is in line with my rooks. So if I take here, he takes, I take. I'm starting to open up that file to the king even more. So this should be good for me. All right, so here, if I take, and he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take. Probably losing too much material there. And that's too complicated. We don't have to play that complicated yet. So I don't want to get into complicated tactics. I'll just, what do I do here? I'll just play this in case I have to ever move here for my king. That's not a good move. That just solidifies my knight's going to be there pretty much almost forever. Unless he takes, and I'll just replace that with a pawn. But the problem is he can't kick my knight out now. So that's not a good move. Let's see. I'll just put more pressure on this f7 square, I guess. Okay, it takes. I'm just going to take back actually with the bishop here because now I have like a million pieces on this square. All right, I'm just going to take the knight here. Yes, I'm giving up the rook for the knight. Yes, that's the sacking the exchange, but I'm also getting a pawn for it, and I'm just piling up the pressure here. So this should work out for me. It does. I'm getting more pawns now because of it, and black's position crumbles. I'm actually getting a rook out of this too, a free rook. So don't be afraid to sack the exchange. I made a video of that too. A lot of times it works out for you. So I'm going to throw in this check again. Let's see. I look for the king going in front of the queen. Always be aware of that because now we have pins. And now I'm just going to take, and if he takes back, check, hitting the loose rook. So always be aware of loose pieces, undefended pieces. I take. And all right, this I can't believe this game's not over yet. This should be checkmate next move. I guess not. So check. He goes here. Check. And now this sets up. This should set up mate. So I'm not going to check him and let him run away. I'm going to take away all the squares first. So he can't go up the board. And now he's got to go backwards. And now he's going to get checkmated. Again, I think that's pretty simple stuff. We're going to go to Sven. Sven is also 1100. So we have e4, e5. So I'm developing, attacking the pawn. He's developing and defending the pawn. All right, all basic stuff. Developing, very good. I'm going to play d3 here. This is a useful pawn move because it helps my development. My bishop can readily get into the game. It's protecting this pawn. So it's not an unnecessary pawn move is my point. Again, is this knight... So this broke a principle. Don't move the same piece twice in the opening unless you have a really good reason. But don't just do it for the sake of doing it. So he violated opening principle. Now, how do we take advantage of this? So the queen is hitting the knight. Now, yes, there's a knight in between, but like I've been saying, we have to get in the habit of seeing where the direction of our pieces are going, even if there's pieces in front of them. So here, I could take a free pawn, because if he takes back, I win a knight. He does get my bishop, though, after that. And in this opening, we want to preserve the bishop. It's very strong. So I'm actually looking at the move knight g5. It doesn't grab a pawn, but I'm attacking the f7 square. It's like the fried liver attack. He's got to defend his knight, so he'll probably come back here, and then I'll just get this and forking the queen and rook. So that looks like a good way to play. Okay, he defends the knight that way. Again, but this is arguably maybe an even bigger threat. Now I'm attacking. I'm getting a pawn, attacking the queen and the rook. He moves the queen away. Now I could take the rook, but I might want to develop and attack the queen first. Or just develop the knight. He can take. I'll take and check him. This looks like another good way to play. There's a lot of good options here, actually. I'm not really sure which one to do because I have so many good options. But I will play this first. And then g7, yep. That's what I expected. And now I actually am threatening checkmate here. I'm temporarily blocking the bishop to the knight. But if he takes, I feel like I have to have a serious attack on him. Okay, he comes there. And he has a square for his king now. So now this is not checkmate. Let's see. Actually, if I throw in this check, he has to come here in front of his queen. And then I can just win the queen. So patience pays off. I could have got the rook, but now I get the queen instead. He throws in a check. Again, all I do is block, and now I'm hitting his bishop. So now he puts himself in even bigger trouble. I could take the queen, but I don't have to yet. He's attacking my pawn. I could take the bishop. I guess I can take. He takes back. I take and just give up the pawn. But I'd rather just castle, defend everything. All right, he saves his bishop, but I'm going to get his queen at least eventually. I can get it right now or just wait. I don't have to take it right now. But I guess I will. I'll take it right now, and I'll just get my queen into the game, and I'll try to checkmate my opponent as quick as possible. Okay, so just giving me a knight. I actually could get the bishop now. Check. So I'll give him the bishop, I guess. So, all right, got the bishop. And I'm scanning the board for forcing moves, loose pieces, stuff like that. I don't see anything. I actually don't even know if I can save my knight here. I'll play f4. If he takes, at least I get this pawn with check, and I get my rook into the game. And I don't think he realistically, I'm just going to protect my pawn. These are actually really good pawns in the center of the board, so I want to keep those. Now my queen's in the game. I'm threatening stuff. He's blocking, so I'm going to take the piece that's blocking, and now I'm going to replace that rook with this rook and go on the attack. Now I can check with the queen or the rook. My queen's already in the game, so I'm going to use the piece that's not in the game yet, the rook. And now my queen and rook are in the game, and you can see that delivers checkmate. All right. So Amir is 1,200. We're moving up the rating ladder. We have the Scandinavian defense. That's different. So we take in the Scandinavian defense and then just continue to develop. Okay, I'm just going to develop. Okay. So this is a good example of why not to take your queen out too early in chess. In the Scandinavian, yes, you take the queen out too early. You don't take the queen out too early. You do take it out early, but then after like knight c3, you just put the queen back here or here. But now the queen's playing with fire. So when the queen's overexposed or developed too early in the game, we want to develop and attack it. We use the queen's vulnerability to improve our position. So I play in the center and develop. At the same time, I attack the queen. Okay, so can we continue to do this? We can continue to improve our pieces and attack it. If I attack the queen here, yeah, it looks like we can just continue to beat up on the queen. And this is why you don't want to take the queen out too early. Okay, attacking our queen. I could defend and move further up the board. I could just come back here. I could play that. I think I'll just play that. So improve my bishop, start making more threats. And now I actually win the queen here. How do you win the queen here? Pause your videos, spot the tactic. Always look for forcing moves. In this position, we have the bishop aimed at the queen. We always should see that. So we have a discovered attack. What's the most forcing way to play here? How do we get a free move in chess? If we had two moves, we would move the knight, then we would take the queen. So how do we give ourselves two moves in chess? We create a check. So now black has to take care of that check, and now we simply win the queen. And we gave up two pieces for it, but that's still more than enough for the queen. So I'll castle here, and now we're up a sizable material advantage. And I'm just going to play, finish my development still, make threats. He's defending this right now. I'm just going to try to deflect or attack it again. Black does not defend now, and now I'm just going to go in. Oh, he did not take back. So what do I do here? If my queen's here, it's checkmate. So this is kind of like a discovered attack in itself, because wherever the bishop moves, the queen coming here is checkmate. So I'm going to actually, I was going to do this, attacking this, but he actually can take and defend this. And if I take this pawn, he actually takes back and creates an escape square for his king. So I can't do that either. So I don't, this is actually a good discovered attack because I'm attacking the pawn here. So that's probably the best one. Okay, so even if he sees that and defends the checkmate, I still have this. However, I also have this, which is even better move. So if you see a good move, look for a better one. And the point is, if he moves the bishop out of the way, it's checkmate. So he can't do it. But now he throws in this move, attacking my bishop. Now, if I take his bishop, he takes my bishop. So we don't want to do that. So first I take this pawn. If he takes, this is still checkmate. So now he has to defend his rook and defend this. It's too much. Do we take the bishop or the rook? The rook's worth more, so we're going to take the rook. Also, if he takes this, I take his knight. He takes with the knight, I guess. Okay, fair enough. All right, so now I'll just bring my last piece into the game. And we should be rocking and rolling here. Let's see. I'm setting up a little tactic here. Oh, does it work? No. So I'm just going to launch my pawns forward and just bust open the king's fortress. And we should be good to go. I'm just going to defend that pawn. Bring my bishop back in the game. And yeah, black is pretty much toast here. He's attacking my bishop. I could have took the pawn, I guess. So I'm just going to try to simplify, take pieces off the board, and or see what we can do here. All right, so another discovered attack. You'll notice that there's a lot of discovered attacks throughout the games that you probably wouldn't see or you probably don't see. So just try to concentrate on discovered attacks because they're everywhere. You're probably missing a lot of them in your games. I'm threatening mate here. Check. I could have taken the bishop. Let's see. I'll do that. Okay, defends. I'll throw my rook at it too. So I'll just start throwing more pieces at it and throw my this rook at it too. He can't take because he's pinned. So eventually something's got to give. All right, and now what do we have? We have to have something here. The bishops. Okay, I'm just going to take the rooks. And let's see. Check. We should have mate here. There should be mate right here. And check mate. Which brings us to the next spot. Our next spot is Elena. Elena's also 1200. So again, 1200s are making a ton of mistakes. Okay, so far so good with the opening though. Developing and defending. I'm developing and attacking. I'm developing and attacking because I'm playing with the white pieces and white moves first. So naturally you're going to be more of an attacker. I'm going to deviate and play G5 here. So see what they do. Just see if we can learn anything. Okay, our opponent's playing well though. I'll come down here. Okay, so I'm going to actually, all right, I could come here, but I'm going to come back here. All right. So far, so good. I'm going to take with this pawn. It opens up my rook to the F file and guards key squares. So I'm going to castle, double my rooks, and then play from there. So first I'm going to develop all my pieces, castle, develop all my pieces, put them into position. It's like setting up the board in chess, and then we're going to attack from there. So now I'm just going to look to advance my pieces in the best way possible. Question is, how do I do that here? I could maybe play that. Well, he does have discovered attacks, though. So I'll come here. If I put my knight there, he did have discovered attacks. Now he doesn't have discovered attacks because his queen's not hitting this. So now, actually, I was going to come here. Or I can just take right away and double his knight. Yeah, I'm just going to take right away. So he shouldn't let you double. You shouldn't have let me double the pawn. She shouldn't have let me double the pawns in front of the king. Now the king has a busted fortress. Now I'm just sliding my knight out of the way to let my queen come into the game and the rooks come into the game. This is pretty much GG already. I don't even have to take this bishop. So this should be instructional. So the king is so busted. This is just going to be an instructional game to show you how important king safety is, or how important it is to bust open the opponent's king position. Because I don't have to take the bishop. I'm just going for checkmate here. I can play this. I can play this, and she has to give up her queen. There's a plethora of options here. Okay, she gives up her queen because she was getting mated. I'll bring this rook into the game now. And because of our patience, we didn't get the bishop, but we got a queen. And maybe we'll get something more. Maybe we'll get checkmate. So now that there's absolutely no protection in front of the king. And we should have checkmate any second now. So I don't think there's any way for her to stop this. And this, again, I don't take the bishop. I just go for a checkmate because the king has absolutely no fortress. All right, we're going to play Wilson here. Wilson's 1200. Wilson plays a funky opening, the Duras Gambit. Not recommended by me or anyone that I've ever seen play chess. But he played the Duras Gambit, so this should be an interesting video. Why do you not play bad openings? This could be a video in itself. So, all right, there's a lot of weaknesses on the light squares. He plugs it pretty well there. That's good. I'm just gonna, again, my opponent attacked my piece. I defended it. Very simple stuff. I'm gonna get rid of this knight. And now I just don't know what to do because I have too many good moves. If this bishop was here, it would be checkmate, believe it or not. So I'm going to clear this pawn. He can take and get out of the checkmate. He takes, I check. But it's worth a pawn. It's worth a pawn to get my bishop into the game. And his king, now his king has to stay in the center. He is forking my queen, my bishop and knight now. But this is all good. The black cannot survive this. This is not good for black. Black's king is in the center. I have good development. There's no reason why black should survive. And now, again, we have a discovered attack. The queen is aimed at the king. There's only one piece in front of it. How do we cause the most destruction with our free move that we have? And I would say check, winning the queen. So any move that wins the queen here, or this check, is probably the best move in the position. And now I'm just going to take the queen. And I'm going to actually get the bishop too. So I can also take this pawn with check. Not anymore. I can take this rook now, so check. So that's why the king being so vulnerable is not good, because tactics form and other pieces will tend to drop. All right, so now I'm going to castle queenside. Doesn't really matter what side I castle, though. But I'm going to castle queenside there. Bring my other rook into the game. And this should be game over pretty soon. So this forces a rook trade. I just want to force trades basically as much as I can. I'll just play that. Now this should win another piece because the knight is pinned. So you attack pinned pieces. You don't take pinned pieces. You attack them, put pressure on them, build up on them, then take. Again, I don't take the knight. It's pinned to the king, or I could pin it to the king. And now, yeah, pin it to win it, but he can defend, but it's pinned. So I'm going to see if I can add another attacker there. So let's see, I can do that. Check. If he takes, I just take. And now I will, so by my patience right there, I want a pawn. What can I do here? I'll just take the knight. He should take my knight. And I'll just bring my rook into the game. That's my last piece to bring into the game. Again, this is a free move. Discover check. Wins the bishop. one way or the other. And now the next move should be checkmate. All right, we're going to move up the rating ladder a bit. We're going to play Vin, who's at 1,300. I have a rule: if your opponent lets you play e4 and d4, play both. So if you're choosing between e4 and d4, you might as well play both if they let you. All right, I'm going to develop another piece. H5 and B6 are not developing pieces. That's not good. Okay, another pawn move. That's not good. I'm just going to move my bishop to safety. Finally develops a piece. Okay, now we're talking. Let's say if I attack takes. No. All right, so I'll just move my knight out of the way. And I'm going to castle queenside because these pawns are so far advanced. These ones are too now, but again, this is not a good idea to advance both sides of your pawns because you'll never have a safe spot for your king. And if you leave it in the center, that's not really a safe spot. This move just actually gives up the knight, so I have no idea what the point of that move was. If you guys know, please comment down below. I have no idea what the point of that was. Now it's time. The king's in the center. I'm more developed. This is not the time to play slow. This is the time to just open up the game. So the point of this is to open up files to the king. I'm just going to go ahead and put pressure on that. All right, I'm forking the queen and the knight, queen and the rook. I will take, what do I take here? I'll take the rook, I guess. We'll play simple. I'll throw in this check. And this game should be over pretty quickly. Okay, so here's so always look for forcing moves, and this is a really good tactic right here. And a really good example of why you should. So what's the most forcing move here? I think bishop to beat g5 is. It pins the queen to the king. Now, black's going to either lose their queen or take, and now my queen comes here and checkmates. So this puts black in a really bad position, obviously. So, okay, good. Instead of taking it checkmated, find an escape square for your king. The problem is, it's just not a good idea. It's just a bad, he's in a bad position right now. I could also throw in this check first. He can't take because he's pinned, and then he comes here. Not sure what that does. But I'll just take the queen. Nothing fancy. I'll just take the queen. And now I should be able to get the bishop because this check, or the king's going to step into another discovered attack, which is bad in its own way. So now I'll throw in this check. And I could take, if he takes, I take the bishop. So we'll do that. Now I get the bishop. Get this pawn, and everything, as you see, falls from here. And now I'm just taking pieces. Okay. Black. The computers don't resign. All right, so I'm going to just attack that pinned. I'm going to create a pin. And now I'm just going to get rid of the rooks. That's with check. This is with check. I can always take that. I'll just take that for why not. And now the rook and queen are going to mate the king, as you can see on the open board. And that's checkmate. So I'll pre-move that. All right, so we're playing Nelson. Nelson is 1,300. Nelson is a popular chess bot from what I hear. So a lot of people get stuck at the 1,300 chess spot. Maybe that's why. So Nelson is developing his queen and his bishop, but the queen is out too early. There's no reason to take the queen out this early. most players won't even play like this, but I mean, if for what it's worth, don't take the queen out too early. I can attack the queen right away. He's gonna move. He should move back here to defend the check, winning the rook. So if I move here, I'm attacking the queen and threatening this check, winning the rook. So you'd have to move here. I don't have to play that right away though. He's not defending this square really. So, and now we have a winning move already. So pause your videos and try to spot the winning move. Okay, this is an atrocious move. I don't think even a 1300 honestly would play that move. I'm not sure what 1300 would play that. 1300, not really a strong rating, but I don't expect this from a 1300. So just moving to d8 for no reason, not forfeiting the right to castle, but most importantly, the queen and king are on the same diagonal. On the dark square diagonal, we have a dark square bishop. Can we attack the queen, pin the queen to the king? Is this square protected? It's protected by the knight. So we can just win a queen here. So already Nelson in trouble, and then just gives up the bishop, which is just giving up another piece. That's not good. So I'm going to take the queen here. And I'm just going to still... Notice how I'm up a lot of material, but I'm still developing my pieces, still protecting my king. It's just a habit. And it's a good habit to get into. So it's still very important. All right, so I'm just going to grab this pawn here. And now this is just a matter of finishing the game. So if anything from the rest of this game, you'll learn, I guess, technique, the proper technique here. Okay, so attacking my bishop and my pawn, so I can save both. How do I save both? That's the question I want to ask myself, and I can. I move back here, saving the bishop, protecting the pawn. He's pinning my knight, but I don't care. My knight's protected like 4 times, so I'll just take with the rook. And if he takes... Okay, he doesn't want to trade down pieces because he's down material, so that's a wise decision by Nelson. And now I'm going to just infiltrate here and infiltrate some more. And we'll just slowly, enter the position at some point. And the idea is to checkmate black, right? So that's what we're going to try to do here, which should happen pretty quickly. I'm not even going to... If he took, I wouldn't even take back. I would still play this. So I think this just wins the game on the spot. Oh, no, he actually defends. Let's see. I'll pass on attacking the rook. And if he takes, I'll just replace this rook with that rook. And again, he can't... Now he really can't stop checkmate. So there you go. Checkmate. All right, that was a quick one. So Nelson's out. So if you guys are having trouble with Nelson, he, as you can see, is not really that good. So, just, again, concentrate. Look for your opponent's threats, look for your options, and you should be able to beat these bots. I think, even if you're a beginner player, if you just concentrate and you play the basics, you should be good. But let's see. This is another 1300. This is Jade, and hopefully we get a stronger game from Jade. Okay, again, these bots don't like to castle. They like to forfeit the right to castle. I don't know why. I'm just going to pin the knight to the queen. And here I could start pressuring and building up on the pin. The problem is Jade can come back here and break the pin. So basically, I'm going to wait for this move d6 so she can't come back and break the pin. So as I'm waiting for that move, I might as well develop my queen. And there we have it. Now the bishop cannot come back here to pin because the bishop cannot jump over the pawn for legal reasons. So now this knight is a goner. Well, basically what I mean is the queen and pawn are defending the knight. But now that I have 2 pieces on it, I'm going to force black to bust open their king side. So I'm going to take with the knight. And the point is, black he can't take with the queen because he'll lose his queen. So he has to break open his own king side. And now I can just enter with the bishop. And black has a busted position already. And I'm just going to enter, the light squares. and surround the king. That's it. Okay, so if I come here, check, he takes, I take, and my bishop becomes more powerful. I'd rather actually exchange these bishops and have this knight just chill here. That would be even stronger. So here I'm going to actually... There's an open file to my king, so I'm not going to go king side. I'm actually going to go queen side here. I think that's safer. See? So I'm going to now open up the F file. Also, if I went king side, I wouldn't be able to immediately open up the F file because I would be putting myself in check. Okay, he's attacking my rook, but I want my rook on the F file anyway, so I'm just going to move it out of the way and put my rook where I want it to go. And this is interesting. I think I can possibly get rid of the bishop here. Okay, if he went back here, I would actually trap it. So he goes there. If I take it, he takes with the pawn. We should take with the pawn. Then my knight can't enter the position. So I should wait for him to take me. So let's just play this move. All right, he doesn't take the bait. Not yet, at least. Still doesn't take. All right, I'll just improve my rooks while I wait. And finally, black takes. Okay. So now the point is, this knight is really strong here. And the knight could pretty much chill there forever. But this 1300 is actually putting up a fight. I mean, not in a good position. She's not in a good position, but at least she put up a fight. I can't really recommend the good moves here for her, though. Let's see. Maybe I'm actually gonna... I'll take here. Okay, she takes with the knight. Attacks the pawn. So I can just defend the pawn. Okay, bishop is not really attacking anything. So I could even press here. Takes. It doesn't really do much, but I could do that. I could try to reroute the knight to here, but then they always can kick me out. So this looks like a better square for now. Let's see. I'll just move my king into a safer territory while I wait. And all right, I'll improve my queen. Wait a sec. Was my bishop hanging the whole... Oh, my queen was protecting my bishop. So I missed that. Whoops. All right, so all right, we'll do this and see if I can get a piece back I think I can get a piece back right away. If I take the knight, it takes, and take the queen. So it looks like I get a piece back right. If I take the bishop, it doesn't really work as well because the knight comes back and takes. So that's why you always be mindful of tactics. They could lose you the game, win you the game, get you back in the game. Okay. I guess I'll just attack the bishop. And let's see. She's attacking my pawn here. I could just win this pawn. I could exchange this rook, but I don't really see the point. This pawn's going to go. I really can't save it, so I might as well get this pawn. If I can't defend something, I'll counterattack. All right. I'm going to come here, attack the rook. I'm hoping that she trades with me. Why did I miss that? I didn't miss that. I get this. All right. So I get the rook, so that was a little trick there. Okay. Do I have any more tricks here? come here. No, it doesn't work. I'll just come back here. So my plan now is to basically, all right, that's not a good move because we're going into the end game and you don't want double isolated pawns in the end game. So people will say you don't want double isolated pawns. Well, when the queen's on the board, when there's a lot of pieces on the board, they have some benefits. They open up files, potentially accelerate attacks. But here in the end game, you don't want this. This is just weaknesses. Plus, that just gives up the pawn too. So there's no defense to the pawn. And okay, black's going to try to maybe attack. All right, attack from behind. Let's see. The problem is here is I'm just going to take this pawn. Okay. See, now, again, this is a really good tactic right here, a very basic tactic. I want to take the pawn. She's defending, but can we pin it to win it? Yes, we can. I just push. If she takes, I win the rook. She can't do that. I'm actually going to take with the rook here because it's check. And if she just moves out of the way, I win the rook. Therefore, this check forces the rook exchange. I take, and then she cannot stop me from queening because her king is too far away. So she put up a good fight for a while. I mean, she didn't play a good opening. Her king position got messed up, and she wasn't in a good position. But at least she put up the best fight so far. So far, Jade put up the best fight. All right, I'm going to advance my king, and I'll just checkmate with the king and queen here. That's the plan, at least. We'll come there. So I'm not stalemating. I'm always keeping in mind the possibility of a stalemate. I don't want a stalemate ever, obviously. You know, unless you're losing, then you do. But all right, so that's checkmate, and we'll go on to the next spot. The next spot is, let's see, we got David. David also 1400. 1400 is the highest on the intermediate bots. So the next couple of bots will be 1400. But they all have different styles, apparently. Not good styles, but different styles. Okay, throwing in a check. I'm going to develop and defend. Okay, that's not good because that gives up the bishop pair too quick. And again, these bots are like programmed for some reason to not castle and play king f8. Now, most 1400s won't do that because they're better than that. Or they're not good enough to do that. So sometimes like super GMs like Magnus will play king f8, but he plays it for a good reason. There's really no good reason to play it here. All right, I'm just going to develop. If your opponent plays funky openings, you don't match their funky opening with a funky opening of your own. You just play standard principled chess. The best way to handle a funky opening is to just play a very orthodox basic opening like you would anyway. All right, let's just develop. This is not a good move. It's an unnecessary pawn move. All right, I'll strike in the center, I guess. And I'll just win a pawn. I'm attacking the knight. I'm attacking this. So I could... Okay, so he's attacking my pawn. What's the best way to defend it? I can actually win a pawn and defend it. So that's the best way. Now he's attacking my bishop. Let's see what to do here. I'll just move back, I guess. And now I might have checkmate. I might have some type of mating attack. If I just come here and he takes, that's... No, not really, not yet. I could have just attacked the queen, though. I think the queen might be... The queen might be stuck. If I play here, or the knight can come there. Maybe I just take here first. All right, this is tough. I have too many good options. I don't know what to do. I'm not used to this. All right, so I'll just take for now. Okay. So attacking my queen. But if I take and let him take my queen, and then I attack the queen, queen has to come here. Is that a viable option now or no? Is that that's too fancy? That's too fancy anyway. Or if I just protect the queen. Oh, my bishop's attacked too, so. Oh, so basically what's happening here is my queen's attacked and my bishop is attacked. So how do I solve that problem? I might actually have to give up my queen here. Take. Takes. And then throw this in. Or if I takes. No, I don't know. I guess I could play back here and then takes, move my king out, attack the knight. The knight has to come back here. You know what? I'm just going to give away my queen. Okay. I'm going to go here, attack the bishop. The knight takes. Okay, so the knight should have just taken. And my whole point was I was going to get a strong pawn center and try to push the bishop around, try to connect these pawns. But they just gave me the bishop back and the queen back, so that was not a good move. Now this in-between move. Okay, good. He found the in-between move. That's good. I attack. He has to move out of the way somewhere. And my knight looks trapped. I can't go anywhere, but I have this check, protecting the knight at the same time. And then, okay, at least I'm going to get maybe the exchange back. If I attack the rook, it doesn't really do anything. All right, I'll just bring this rook into the game. And let's see, check. He's going to take that and then double. And then I have this pawn here, so that should be pretty much game over. Oh, nice little move there. All right, so I'll take. And then throw in this check. And now I should be able to queen, cut the king off, and get a queen. All right, I have to do that first. And that's very annoying. It's a very annoying move. And basically I just have to cover the square where I'm trying to queen. And that's it for the defense. Now, if they take, I get a queen. If they don't take, I still get a queen. And now we have to play this out. So now basically when I have these positions, I just pretty much, I'm playing a quick game here. So on a quick game, I'm just looking for checks. Obviously, in a slow game, you want to be as accurate as possible. But if you're playing a fast game, it can't hurt to just play just throw in as many checks as you can. And eventually you'll have some type of mate, I think. I should have a ladder mate here. And there we go. This is checkmate. Next move. Or this. All right. That was a pretty good game. And the second to last spot, Ali. Ali is another 1,400. Playing the Sicilian defense on me. And I should play d4. So I'm going to go ahead and play d4 now. Okay. So developing, attacking my knight a second time. I'm only defending it once. Again, just simply seeing what my opponent's threat is after every move. I want to defend that in the most active way possible. I could take, that would defend, and then he would have to take time to take back. But I think best is to just develop and defend. Okay, this is a developing move. Putting pressure on the pawn, it's already defended, so I don't have to defend that. The reason why I played f3 is I want to play queen d2, but if I don't play f3 first, he can come down here and pretty much trap the bishop, or almost trap it. But it would be a very annoying move nonetheless. My opponent actually now has a tactic. I'm just curious to see if he sees it. It's taking over here. He didn't really see it. He had a discovered attack, so he could take and then take the knight. But he didn't see it. That's not good. It looks good. He's winning a pawn. But the problem is the knight is defending this square. So I can just move the rook out of the way, defend my rook, and attack the queen at the same time. And I get the open b file. So not really a great play. The only square my opponent can go to is a3. So not really great. And now the problem is I can come here and then win material right away. So it's an immediate counter. I can immediately throw a counter punch at my opponent and win material back pretty much directly right away. My opponent can't come back here to defend this because my queen, so I just get the rook. So again, it looks like, they're grabbing material, but that's just being overzealous and over-aggressive, and it really doesn't do much. Okay, now attacking my rook. Now we're talking here. What's the best way to defend that? I guess the most active way is to play this. I can throw this check in. I could throw that check in. Let's see. I'll throw this check in. And now all I really want to do here is develop the bishop and castle. So if I develop the bishop, if I just get to safety, I just consolidate my lead in material. And I'm totally fine here. These moves are very unnecessary. I'm going to throw in this check again. And I'm trying to see if I can trap the queen here. I'm covering a lot of squares. I have to be able to trap the queen here. This is another reason why the queen is overexposed. And now I think... What move would trap the queen here? Bishop e5 looks good, but then they have this. Do I play that first? And then this? Or this? Then this, then that? No, then my rook goes. So I gotta play that first, probably. Hopefully they play this or something, or something crazy like that. That does absolutely nothing. I think I just win the queen now on the spot. So, okay. Taking my knight, I'm not going to take back the knight. I'm going to take the queen, obviously. And threatening my bishop. This is not checkmate because the knight comes back and takes. So you have to see stuff like that. You have to see where your pieces are going and what's defending what. Let's try that. What happened? What did they take? Did I really just do that? Actually, so basically I just dropped my rook, but actually I get the piece back because I take the knight, attacking the bishop, also threatening some pretty dangerous stuff here. I might not even want to take the bishop. I have check. King comes out, check. The king has to come here then, so check. Here. And then check. I'm not going to take the bishop. I think when I smell blood in the water, I have to go for it. All right, that might be checkmate on this, almost on the spot. Check here, check. Let's see, check here. Check, forcing this, then check. This should be some type of mate here. Let's see, check. King comes here. Or this. This might be even stronger. So just taking advantage of the pin. If I check and bounce the king back up here and take, that actually is a little bit tougher. I think I just play that and check. That's checkmate. Okay, so now eventually just my opponent has to give something back just because the attack is so strong. So here I'm just going to take the bishop, obviously. And now I'm going to go back into this pattern. And now when the king comes back here, that's checkmate. All right, and last but not least, we have Mateo. Mateo is 1400. This is the final bot in the intermediate bot range. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I think most players fall into this rating range. And a lot of you probably struggle with these bots, but as you can see, these bots really aren't difficult. So it's really about asking yourself, again, I don't mean to beat the dead horse, but it's pretty much asking yourselves the basics. Okay, my opponent's attacking my bishop. I'll just take that pawn. And okay, so taking back, but we always have to ask ourselves, what's our opponent's threat? It's the pawn. Now I could defend it. In this case, I'm just going to castle. So I can always ignore minor pawns and just keep on developing. I'll attack this pawn a second time. That's a good move because it actually attacks my queen. So I have to move out of the way. I don't know about that move. That move allows me to take this bishop, double isolate these pawns, win this pawn. This diagonal is weak to the king, which you don't want that diagonal weak to the king early on in the game, or at all, really. So now I take back. The king is very loose. I would expect a castle there, but we don't get castling. I would love to play this move, defending the rook, setting up a discovery, but that knight's there. So I'm going to play this move. Okay, and my opponent wisely castles. I'm going to get my rook to an open file. All right, we have that move. I'm going to just make some air for my king so I don't have to worry about back rank checkmates. My opponent attacks my rook. I guess I'll just bring the rook into the game. Attacking my rook and queen. Very nice. Now I could take here and then throw the bishop in here. I'm going to lose my rook. I'm going to lose material anyway because my opponent hit me with a good fork. Did not expect that from the 1400. So I'm just going to let him take the material on my terms. I'm now going to plant this bishop here. Very strong bishop. And now I'm going to switch the rook, which is not doing a whole lot here. It's doing a lot horizontally, but not vertically. But the rook can move horizontally and vertically, so I want to do both. So now it's still doing a lot horizontally. It's also doing a lot vertically. And now I can add more pressure diagonally by playing that move. And that doesn't really do anything. I can just throw in this check. And it looks like my opponent might be in some trouble here. The question is how to finish it off. So check here, is that just checkmate? So we have to look for forcing moves, all the time. That's our first candidate move we should always look at is a forcing move. And it could win the game on the spot a lot of times or save us. And here you'll see if I play rook g8, we have to calculate that. It's a forcing move. Also, with black's king on the run, like forcing moves really should be, you really should be like looking at that anyway, but especially in this case, because it does look like we have tactics. So check, black's king can't come here, has to take the rook, and then isn't this just checkmate after that? So there you go. That's it for the intermediate bots. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. You shouldn't get beaten by these bots ever again. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the video. Comment down below. If you like this video, check out this one. I'll catch you guys next time. Go play some chess.